So, I just finished reading chapter 3. Chapter 3 gave another example of how habits can work in pretty much all situations and circumstances. It just depends on what the habit is and what you're trying to create from it or what's the outcome of it in the most part. So, this is the example they gave in chapter 3. Chapter 3, it first started off about talking about this guy who had an issue with drinking alcohol bad. Basically, he was an alcoholic, right? So he was trying to figure out the best way for him to get off of alcohol. One of his buddies suggested that he get into religion. You know what I'm saying? Which he didn't believe in religion. You feel me? He was an atheist, to be exact. So he didn't believe in none of that. So at first, at first, he wasn't trying to really, he wasn't trying to do it, right? Well, alcoholics tend to go through some crazy stuff, right? So he ended up getting into a wreck. That first time he got into a wreck, his son was with him. His son ended up getting hurt. He didn't get hurt bad, but he got hurt. Like, he broke his arm. You know what I'm saying? Broke his arm and he had a nosebleed or something like that. So that right there made him try to change, right? So for a little while he was doing good. Then his mom passed or got sick or something. So that just made him relapse. You feel what I'm saying? Like, he just went back to drinking, right? So then he had another wreck. This time when he had a wreck, he was by himself. But had his son been with him, his son would have been gone. You see what I'm saying? So this time it really made him be like, yeah, I gotta really figure out something because I'm gonna end up hurting my kids if I don't get this figured out, right? So he ended up continuing to search for a way to like fix the situation or whatever as far as the alcoholic part go. He ended up going to some AA meetings and stuff, and really that's what started helping him, those group meetings, because what it was, instead of drinking, he was able to socialize in a setting with people that had the same thing in common as him. So in a way, that new routine of just talking to people instead of drinking, it became more of the routine that got him to the reward of satisfaction of peace, I guess you could call it, right? Because he was drinking to feel a level of peace. Well, AA gave him peace because after having the conversation, the reward was peace. So, in other words, the key to it was you got to figure out your cues, you got to figure out your reward, but then in the middle, you got to change your routine. So, figure out what your cue is, your reward, and then your routine, but change the routine. Because you could change the routine, and then the routine could ultimately change the habit. You see what I'm saying? And another example was a girl biting her nails. So for the girl that was biting her nails, whenever she got the urge to bite her nails, they told her to just put her hands in her pockets or something like that. But also keep track of the amount of times that she get that urge and the amount of times she had to put her hands in her pocket and things of that nature. Well, eventually she stopped biting her nails so much in a sense because she got the satisfaction of the new routine she created for herself. So once again, create a new routine. You're trying to get the same reward, but the routine is what is really the problem. You see what I'm saying? But and then the last example is the football coach Tony Dungy. He coached for the Steelers and won the Super Bowl and the Colts. But the one that he won for the Colts, basically the following years before that, he was coaching the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers sucked, but he had them getting closer and closer to the championship. The last time he got them real close, they ended up firing him. The following season, the Buccaneers won off of his methods, off of his style of coaching and stuff, right? So then the Indianapolis Colts was taking so many L's. They had the best quarterback, Peyton Manning, was still losing. They got him. He started teaching them about habits and how to use habits to win. Eventually, they got far. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think his second season, they got further. They lost to the Patriots twice. Two seasons in a row, they lost to the Patriots in the playoffs. 2 seasons in a row, they lost to the Patriots in the playoffs. And then he was just like trying to figure out like what it was that was making them lose. Well, basically, you know, when people get under pressure in certain situations, they go back to their old habits. They go back to their old ways. And that's what they was doing. They was going back to their old ways versus sticking to what they know. You know what I'm saying? So once they started sticking to what they know, they eventually won. But basically, when his son passed, the passing of his son is what gave everybody that real life belief. They started believing. Like, I believe in what coach say. I believe in what coach believe in. I want to do what coach tell me to do. I want to, buy into the system basically. So yeah, the power of habit is a motherfucker, man. Habits are powerful. You feel me? And they ended up winning. One of their defensive backs got like an interception, and that was the end of the game. They ended up going to the Super Bowl and winning. But it's the power of habits that is ultimately what got them there. But like I said, man, that was chapter 3. I'm going into chapter 4. The book is saying that I'm going to part 2, the habits of successful organizations. So chapter 4 will start part 2. Part 2 is the habits of successful organizations, and I'll be reading that chapter tomorrow morning. Read a chapter a day because I can't do more than a chapter a day, as y'all can hear these crying ass kids. And I'm out, y'all. Hopefully I get the book because it's a good book. Learn some shit.